Hi everyone, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to discuss about the topic name called Introduction to Web Services. Under Introduction to Web Services, we are going to see the following topics, subtopics. That is, first one is Hypertext Markup Language and second one is Extensible Markup Language. These are the languages which are used for creating the website and the www, World Wide Web, and then web page and its types. Then scripting languages and website, web browser, URL, Uniform Resource Locator, then network protocol, and then URL host, servers, and then domain names, and then URL resource location, web servers, web hosting, and then web 2.0. So these are the topics we are going to see here under this Introduction to Web Services. So let me move on to the first topic, that is HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. So it is a language that helps in creating and designing the web content. So if you want to create any web content or a website, you can create a static website with the help of this HTML language. So web content, if you want to design or if you want to create, you can go for this HTML language. It is a markup language. What is meant by markup? Markup, it is actually a structure it in a specific format. So the HTML is going to be specified in a structured way. So in a specific format it is going to be written. Okay, so that is why it is known as markup language. It has a variety of tags. So it has a lot of tags and attributes also. So like attributes like tag names, you all know HTML, and then header, title, body, all these are some of the examples of tags. So along with these tags we will write some attributes also, like font size, font color, and then width. All those things are called attributes for defining the layout. So these tags and attributes are normally used for defining the layout, that is overall design and the structure of the web document. We will use these tags and attributes in the HTML. It is designed to display the data in a formatted manner. So formatted manner, it will display the data. What is meant by formatted? It will display in a structured way or in an organized way. So HTML document, it will have the extension file extension will be .htm or .html, and hypertext is the text which is linked to another document. So normally hypertext is used to link with another document. So it is a text. So what is meant by hypertext? Hypertext means it's a machine readable text. So this is an example for hypertext markup language. Normally this hypertext markup language will be typed in a notepad. So you need to open notepad and you need to write all these tags like this. So it is not a case sensitive. Even you can use capital letters also when you are writing the tag names. So tag names are enclosed within the angular brackets. So left angular bracket, right angular brackets. This and all you have studied in lower classes. So this is an example by HTML. To create a static web page, we will use this HTML. Next one is extensible markup language. So it is also a markup language like HTML. This is a similarity between the XML and HTML. The other things and all, we have a lot of differences between each other. So it is designed to carry or store data. So XML is actually designed to carry the data or to store the data. It is not used for displaying the data. So like a HTML, it is not used for designed to display the data. So unlike HTML, it is not having predefined tags. So we have seen in the previous example, HTML body, H1, P, everything are predefined. Everything will be having a certain meaning for that in order to use these tags in a HTML. But in this XML, user need to define new tags on his own. Okay, it allows the programmer to use the customized tags. That means they can create their own tags as per the content of the website. They can make use of their own tag names. So here XML tags are case sensitive. That means it will not support uppercase and lowercase in a similar way. Okay. So XML is designed to be a self-descriptive. So it is descripting every content on itself. So that is why it's called as self-descriptive. So XML is a W3C recommendation language. What is meant by W3C recommendation? W3C means World Wide Web Consortium. It is one of the organization which is used for setting the standards for the website contents. Okay, next this is an example for extensible markup language document. So XML documents, it forms a tree structure. That means it will have initially a root tag and then child tag followed by subchild tag. then immediately you need to close the subchild tag by using this angular bracket and the forward slash. So like HTML, we need to use this forward slash in order to end the tag name, and then next is another child is closed here, and then finally root is going to be closed. So which is initially open, that will be closed at the last. So like that we need to follow the tree structure in case of this extensible markup language. So these two languages are used for creating the website. So next is World Wide Web. So World Wide Web can be defined. It is one of the service which is used in the internet. It is defined as hypertext information retrieval system. So hypertext information, all the website contents now are going to be retrieved by this World Wide Web. So retrieval system on the internet. So who developed this www? Tim Berners-Lee is only the inventor of this www. It is a universe of the information available on the internet. So it is like a universe where the information, all the informations, whatever we want to search, everything will be available on this www on the internet. So www consists of web pages which use HTML to interchange the information on the internet. All the web pages on the www use HTTP. So all the web pages which are used in this www will use the hypertext transfer protocol for any information with the capability for making hypertext jumps. So if you want to retrieve any kind of information or want to move from one page to another page, you need to use this HTTP transfer protocol only to access the web contents. So this is an example for World Wide Web. www.example.com is one of the website name. So like this you can have a lot of websites in order to access the content. So web page means a single page in a website is only known as web page. It is an electronic document designed using HTML. It displays information in a textual or a graphical form. So it will be having text format, or also images also will be there in the web page. It may also contain downloadable data files, audio files and video files. Traversal from one web page to another web page is possible through the hyperlinks. So using hyperlinks we can move from one page to another page in the website. So there are two types of web pages. One is static web page and dynamic web page. Normally static web page are created or be having the form extension, file extension will be .html or .html as extension. So HTML is used for creating the static web pages. A web page which displays same kind of information whenever user visits is known as static web page. The content will not be changed frequently, so that is only known as static web page. Same kind of information only the user will see whenever he visits that page. Dynamic web page, that is opposite to static web page. It is an interactive web page. It will ask some kind of questions from the user, and we can interact. The user can interact with the website. So that kind of web pages is known as interactive web pages. It's a dynamic web page. It uses scripting languages. Here it uses HTML language, and it uses scripting languages to display the changing content on the web page. So for that we will use active server pages and Java servers pages language. ASP and .JSP is going to be used for these kind of pages, for creating these pages. And here we can see web page types. Static web page served by web server. So here file server is there, and the user side, user is using browser and he is requesting some page. So HTML file request is sent to web server, and then the particular file server is accessed in order to retrieve that content, and then the final result will be returned to the user again. But in case of dynamic web pages, here you can see the same request is PHP file request is passed to the web server. The web server is sending to PHP engine. PHP engine, it is processing that request, and then it is sending to file server. File server, it is retrieving that. If any data want to be retrieved from database server also, we can the PHP will send that request to database server. So it is connecting to two servers. PHP engine or server side engine, it is connecting to two types of servers, file servers and database servers. So from multiple servers it can pass the request, and it will get the answer from the corresponding servers, and then it will return the response to the corresponding request. So like this in the dynamic web page side, the process will be taken place in case of these dynamic web pages. So here you can see another diagram also. Client browser, client machine will have the browser. he or she can access the web server, and then along with the database server also they can get the contents in case of dynamic website. In case of static website, only to one particular server the request is sent and response is also retrieved from that one particular server. Here multiple servers will be involved in case of the dynamic website in order to interact with the user. And then scripting language. Scripting language, it is a programming language which can be embedded or attached or integrated with the other languages. Scripting languages normally it will be attached with the other programming languages. So some of the most widely used scripting languages are JavaScript, VBScript, and PHP, Perl, Python, Ruby, and ASP. These are the programming languages which are used as a scripting languages with other languages to develop the web content. They have been used extensively to create the dynamic web pages. All these scripting languages are used for creating the dynamic web pages. So dynamic web pages scripting language, there are two types of scripting language. Client side scripting language is there and server side scripting language is there. Client side scripting language, it will process only client side requests. On some web pages the contents change in response to an action done by the user, and for example a click is from the mouse or key pressed from a keyboard action. Such pages use client side scripting. So based on the user's action, some contents, web page contents can be changed according to the action done by the user. Such pages are known as client side scripting. In this technology, the content is generated on the user's local computer. Content will be generated only in the user's local computer only. So VBScript and JavaScript are examples of client-side scripting languages. So VBScript, JavaScript only we will use for the client-side scripting. And server-side scripting. Server-side scripting, some web pages use applications running on the server to generate the web content. Such pages use server-side scripting languages. So web pages display the current date and time, forums, submission forms, and shopping carts will use the server-side scripting. So these kind of application used websites will use the server-side scripting. So ASP, JSP, PHP are examples of server-side scripting languages. So these web pages will be using applications which is running on the server to generate the web content. So server side, all these processes will be taken place in order to retrieve the content. That kind of scripting languages are known as server side scripting languages to retrieve the content from the server. And this is an example diagram to explain about server side scripting. So from local computer you are sending the request by typing the URL like this, and then through internet it is going through the server, it is reaching the server side, and then the web server is processing that request. PHP interpreter is interpreting, and the page is returned to the client machine. So server side, all the actions are going to be processed. So this is an example for server side scripting. So for server side scripting we will use ASP, JSP and PHP languages. Next is website. So website normally means it's a collection of web pages. So collection of related web pages from a single domain. So one single common domain name will be given. What is meant by domain name? That host name URL only is called www.google.com. Like that, some examples we can give for domain name. So that single domain name under what and all web pages, related web pages are available, that is only known as, collectively known as website. And a website has multiple web pages providing information about a particular object, particular entity. Okay. About particular topic, that website will give the information. Web browser. Web browser is a software program to navigate or to go through the web pages on the internet. A browser interprets the coding language, so it will translate the coding language of the web page and displays it in a graphical form. Okay, normally the browser is acting like a translator in the client machine in order to translate the contents which are retrieved from the website, retrieved from any website. It will translate all the contents. Normally all the contents are written by using different languages like HTML, extensible markup language, and JSP, ASP. All those languages are going to be used. So user cannot understand those languages if the content is retrieved along the codings. So in order to translate that coding language of the web page, and it will display the user understandable way, all the contents are going to be displayed with the help of this browser. So browser allows anyone to access the web without even knowing the commands. So user no need to aware of all the commands what and all used at the back side. used in the software languages to design a web page. Simply he or she can type a keyword in order to search the content. So he will get the relevant answer related to the keyword what he has entered. So these are some of the web browsers softwares which are available. Opera, Google Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, then Microsoft Edge, Mozilla Firefox are some of the web browsers which are used to access the any web pages or websites. Internet, it works on a client-server model. A web browser is a client which requests the information from the server. The web server sends the information back to the client. The web address of the web page written on the address bar tells the web browser which page to access. So web address you are typing on the web address of the web page, you are typing on the address bar of the web browser. That will say the browser which page it need to search. There are two types of browsers we are having, text-based browsers and graphical browsers. By default always we are going for this graphical browsers only. Text-based browsers, some of the browsers are available, like these are some of the text-based browsers available. Links, e-links, links, W3M, Webby, Browse, okay, then Line Mode browser, Emacs, Charlotte web browser. Like this, some of the text-based browsers are also there as a web browser. And graphical based browsers are Internet Explorer, Mosaic, Safari. What we are using in a regular life, that is graphical based web browsers only. And next one is Uniform Resource Locator, that is URL. Web address of the web page, that is website address only known as URL, Uniform Resource Locator. And written on the address bar of the browser is known as the URL. What is the other name for URL? This is the web address of the web page or website. Your URL is formatted text string used to identify a network resource on the internet. So whatever resource like a file or a particular file or particular web page, if you want to access, that is actually called as network resource only, because it is available on the internet. So you need, if you want to retrieve that particular file or page, you need to enter the correct URL by mentioning the proper path. Okay, so that proper entire path only is known as entire file address only is known as URL. The network resources are files that can be plain web pages, or it can be text documents, or it will be in the form of graphics or downloadable file services or other kind of programs also. So every network resource on the web has a unique URL. Different address will be there for every resource which is available on the network or internet. So the URL text string consists of three parts. So URL will consist of three parts. First part is called protocol, like HTTP. Normally we will use HTTPS : // and then server name, and then path, and then resource name. Actual resource name we can give after the //. So like that we can give the URL format. Then host name or address, and then file or resource location. These are the three parts which are there in the URL text. Then next topic is network protocol. What is network protocol? So without protocol we cannot able to access or transfer any files between the client and server machine. So the network protocol substring identifies the protocol. So substring means here, like HTTP, we can give an example. So HTTP, if you are giving, that is only known as network protocol substring. It identifies the protocol to be used to access the network resource. So these strings, like HTTP is there, that strings are short names followed by the three characters. So after HTTPS or HTTP, we will give these three characters. Other examples of protocols include some of the other networking protocols are already we studied some of the networking protocols. Like that, here they have given some of the networking protocols like HTTP, Gopher, Waze, FTP, and Mail2 are some of the networking protocol. Actually, Gopher is a communication protocol, and Waze is the wide area information server protocol. And next is URL host or server. So host name or address substring identifies the host or server that holds the resource. So normally host name or host address, actually it is a substring. It is going to identify where the resource is located, on which host or which server the resource is located. That is going to be identified with the help of this host name or host address. For example, host names are otherwise called as domain names. Here www.school.com is a domain name or host name. Okay, host names are mapped into or translated into a numeric IP addresses. Every host name will be having a different IP address. So the domain name www.school.com may have IP address like 192.2.100.1. So this address only normally used for differentiating this website from other website. So actually an IP address, Internet Protocol address, it is a binary number that uniquely identifies the computers and other devices on the TCP/IP network. Services in the name of the one host can be provided by many servers. So one host, no, it can be provided by many servers which have different IP addresses. So different, even same content is located in multiple servers. So from multiple servers, from multiple different IP addresses only, the client will receive the response. So one server with one IP address can provide services in the name of many hosts. So one server with one IP address can provide the services in the name of many hosts also. And so there is no one-to-one relationship between the host name and the IP address. Next, it is more convenient for the user to remember the domain name than the numeric IP address. So it's very difficult to remember the numbers if you want to access any particular websites. Instead of remembering that numeric IP address, we can remember the domain name, like www.school.com is easy to remember instead of remembering that number. So host names are automatically mapped or matched to the IP addresses by the server known as DNS server. Normally the domain name server will have all the IP addresses of the websites which are hosted on the internet. So that is going to be organized by the DNS server. So the DNS server will match whatever host name is retrieved or received from the client machine, that is going to be matched with or mapped with the IP addresses which are there in the DNS server. If any match is found, the corresponding server will be directed. DNS stands for domain name service. In a large network, many DNS servers may collaborate to provide the mapping between the host names and the IP addresses. So host names, if it is received from multiple machines, that is going to be handled by this DNS servers. So for that, many DNS servers are running in order to map the host names to the IP address. URL resource location. The file or resource location substring contains a path to one specific network. So URL resource location means actual location of the file we can mention. For example, a website, if it consists of 100 pages, if you want to retrieve 80th page, you can give that 80th page file name, no, that is only known as the file or resource location substring. It contains a path to one specific network resource on the host or server. If you type the general host name like www.school name, it will go to only the home page of that particular website. But if you give syllabus and pre-primary nursery.com, it will go to directly to nursery.com.htm web page in order to show that web page, to show the location of this web page. So resources are normally located in a host or host directory or a folder. So normally all these files, like HTML files and all, will be placed inside one particular root folder, that is the root directory. So if you type the general name, it will go to directly to root directory only. So including do subdirectories and the file name. So subdirectories also will be there in the root directory. So if you mention the correct resource name properly after that domain name, host name, so it will be actually correct path, correct resource will be retrieved for you in your machine. So when the location element is omitted, such as in http www.school.com, the URL conventionally points to the root directory of the host, and often a home page only it will be taking to. So next is web server. So web server, actually it is a computer or a group of computers that stores the web pages on the internet. All your websites contents are going to be, all your files, uploading files are going to be placed in the web server only. It is actually a machine which is having a larger processing capacity and larger storage devices. Okay, so it works on client server model. It delivers the requested web page to the web browser, and web servers use a special program such as Apache or IIS, Internet Information. Microsoft is the owner for this web server program. So IIS, Internet Information Server program, to deliver the web pages over the HTTP protocol. So web servers will make use of these programs, special programs, in order to process the user's request. Each server will have the unique IP address and the domain name. And to access a web page, the user writes the URL of the site on the address bar of the browser. The machine on which the browser is running sends a request to the IP address of the machine running the web server for that page. So which web server is having that IP address, that will be to that machine the request will be sent. And once the web server receives that request, it sends the page content back to the IP address of the computer asking for it. The web browser then translates that content into all the text and pictures, links like videos, it will be translating. Finally, web browser will be translating all the contents in the user understandable format. So here you can see the example diagram how web browsers and the web servers are communicating and responding each other. And web server and web hosting. The single web server may support multiple websites. So in a single web server we may have multiple websites also, or a single website may be hosted on multiple servers also, several linked servers also. Web hosting means what? Web hosting means a process of uploading or saving your web content on a web server to make it available on the www or internet is only known as web hosting. In case of individual or a company wants to make its website available on the internet, it should be hosted on a web server. So without a web server, we cannot show our websites to the outside world. So these are the some kind of hosting we can do: backup, file backup, servers, and then databases. Databases also we can host on the www or internet, and some websites, files, softwares, email contents, everything can be hosted on the web server. And last topic is Web 2.0. Actually, Web 2.0 was given by O'Reilly Media in 2004. The term was given by this media only in year 2004. What it means? It refers to new generation of dynamic and interactive websites. So dynamic and interactive websites can be created by this Web 2.0 application. Web 2.0 websites uses new programming language called AJAX, that is asynchronous JavaScript and HTML, XML is used as a language by this Web 2.0 websites. It helps dynamic website connect to the web server and download small amount of data based on the interaction with the user. So not the entire whole website is not going to be seen or downloaded to the user side. Only the content which they are requesting only will be visible to the user. So like that the website was designed with the help of this AJAX, asynchronous JavaScript and XML language. In this technology, only a part of website which is updated is reloaded. So which is updated only is going to be reloaded to the user. The entire page will not be reloaded each time. So this helps in making the website interactive. So easily every user can interact with it. So only the updated contents or reloaded contents will be visible to the users. So what are the applications of this Web 2.0? So applications which are supported by this Web 2.0 are social bookmarking, like social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, lot of social networking medias nowadays we are using, that is following this Web 2.0 applications only. Then RSS, RDF site summary, and then wikis, Wikipedia we are seeing www.wikipedia.com. So all are collaborative based applications. So any user can edit the contents which are available in that Wikipedia, and they can show the content to the outside world. That is only the use of that wikis. Collaboratively combined way, any user they can edit the content which are available in that website. Like blogs also, web blogs also is an example for this Web 2.0 applications. Then interactive encyclopedias and dictionaries. So dictionaries also in an interactive way. If you type any word meaning, if you want to search, immediately it is giving the response to you. So that is also a kind of Web 2.0 application only. Interactive encyclopedias and dictionaries also we can make, and then advanced gaming. So these are some of the applications: links and websites and domain, www, and then content, Wikis, then social media, weblogs. Blog also you can create on your own, that is free blogs we can create instead of buying any website. We can create our own blog, and in a free way we can make use of that web blog and to display all our contents. So this is also some of the example applications of this that is blogs of this Web 2.0. Blocker, then WordPress.com, Weebly. These are all free blogs. You can create, it's like a free website. So you can create all the contents on your own and you can upload to this blogs. So thank you. With this, today's class is going to end.